motion to approve the minutes of the May 5th, 2026 meeting?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Brackett,
Second.
second by Councilman Johnson. Councilman Brackett.
No, sir.
Councilman Johnson.
No, sir.
Floor is open for discussion. Call the roll, please.
Tim Johnson,
Here.
Alicia Harris,
Yes.
John Brackett,
Yes.
Lonnie Wright,
Yes.
Cheryl Laxton,
Yes.
David Vansdale.
Yes. Motion carries. This time, a motion to pay the bills.
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Laxton, second by Councilwoman Harris. Councilwoman Laxton.
No, sir.
Councilwoman Harris.
Yes.
Floor is open for discussion. Call the roll, please.
Tim Johnson,
Yes.
Alicia Harris,
Yes.
John Brackett,
Yes.
Lonnie Wright,
Yes.
Cheryl Laxton,
Yes.
David Vansdale.
Yes. Motion carries. This time we'll hear from delegation. If you're here to address the council, please come up to the podium, state your name, and limit your comments to 3 minutes.
Good evening. It's good to see everybody. I'm Justin Snow. I'm the president and CEO of the Rhone Alliance, and thank you for the opportunity tonight to share with you.
Thank you.
I want to start by saying I'm grateful and thankful for the partnership and the relationship that the Rhone Alliance has with the city of Harriman. I'm thankful for that. What I've put in your packet tonight is that you have a copy of the Rhone Alliance recap, which is a rundown of the most recent activities of the Alliance. But what I wanted to review tonight, I'm proud to be able to present the Rhone Alliance annual report for 2025 and the City of Harriman Return on Investment report with the Rhone Alliance. So if you don't mind, I'll hit a few high points of the annual report. This past year has been one of tremendous momentum for Roane County that also brought a lot of success and change. In March, we launched our new tourism campaign, Win in Roane, and we actually launched that tourism campaign upstairs, and we had an event at Gates Hall. 2025 was a breakout year for education and workforce. On July 28th, Roane County Schools, through a partnership with the Rhone Alliance, hosted its first ever Nuclear Professional Development Day. We were honored to be selected as one of only 3 communities in the state of Tennessee to participate in the Tennessee Department of Economic and Community Development's Property Evaluation Program. This program will help Roane County strategically prepare industrial properties for near-term development while also mapping out future pipeline of sites to meet the growing demand. And that program has already proven to be successful, as we've got a couple of properties under contract with a couple of property owners. And so I just got back actually from Nashville today to pitch to the state for some grant money to actually purchase those properties.
Good.
So, yeah. I'll touch base briefly on the Roane Chamber. The Chamber's strong, vibrant. We're growing, 375 plus members, growing to 400. One thing I love about the Chamber is the staple events that we do each and every year, such as the Romer Jeep Festival. Taste of the Holidays is an event we rotate between the cities each year, and I think that this year we'll be back to Harriman. We kicked it off 2 years ago in Harriman. We'll be back again to do Taste of the Holidays in November in Harriman. And then our 3rd annual countywide National Night Out was held on August 3rd at Roane County Park, bringing together law enforcement, firefighters, and community partners to strengthen relationships and promote safer neighborhoods. I'll close by touching on tourism. And Roane Tourism brought home the gold for our display at the Wilson County Fair. So each year at the Wilson County Fair, Tennessee State Fair, every county puts up a display.
Okay.
And Roane County walked away with first place last
Good,
year. So
good.
we'll do that again this year. So Stacy has a little bit extra pressure on her this year to bring home first place again. So in your packet, you also have a return on investment report. This just shows that some different money and funding that we spent for marketing, promotions, events, and attraction efforts to help bring to or benefit the city of Harriman. You can see the money we've spent on digital billboard advertising, radio promotion ads, fishing tournament sponsorships, sponsorships for city events like the New Year's Eve Rockin' Eve Festival, and then Hooray for Harriman. On the back page, I'll close with this. You can see chamber support for the businesses in the city with ribbon cuttings and celebrating Business of the Month. Education Matters initiatives. Each and every year we have a combined middle and high school career day, and that's always held at Harriman High School. You can see a list of events that we either put on or help support in the city of Harriman. And I'll close with, as far as economic return on investment, jobs, and tax-based growth over the past 3 years, Roane County has announced over $7 billion in private capital investment, including over 2,900 job announcements, and that also includes one of the largest single industrial developments in Tennessee history with the Roanoke USA. So that's just a few highlights of the annual report. I appreciate the opportunity tonight, and I'll be more than glad to answer any questions that y'all might have.
Looks like you had a great year, Justin, and it's good to see you. I know the other ladies have been coming to make the report, so job well done, and keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you for all the work and for what you do for Roane County and bringing people in here. As the city of Harriman knows, we live on sales tax revenue, so we love it when you bring people to us.
Yeah, we try our best every day. So,
Thank you, buddy.
yeah, but truly thankful for the partnership we have with the city of Harriman, and thank you for the opportunity tonight.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Justin. Hello, my name is Mark Ladd. For those of you who do not know me, I have lived in Harriman my entire life. I grew up in Emory Heights, currently live in the Cornstalk Heights area. Got married at the Manor down the road, and I love Harriman. I think it's the greatest town on earth. I know it's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but to me it's home, and I just had a daughter last week, a week ago today, and I would love to raise her in Harriman. Having said that, I want to bring to the front of discussion what other people I have been talking to about, and it is our displeasure about the new smoke shop that is in downtown area right across the street from the Princess Theater. I understand that anyone is, allowed to put whatever business they want up, given whatever parameters. I don't know the technical stuff behind all that, but I feel like it's not a good representation of what Harriman is. My entire life, like I said, I've loved living in Harriman. I've always felt safe. I've always felt welcome. It felt like I just lived in one big family of the community. And I just feel like having the smoke shop there is just going to be one of the first dominoes to fall that could lead to other things that is not what I want my daughter to raise up in Harriman and have to deal with. We already have the vape shop, or whatever it's called, where the old movie gallery used to be next to Yum Yums. I had to go by the UPS store today to drop off something for my wife, and there is in that area another shop that says "Coming Soon Tobacco Shop," and then I think there's another one, and then obviously the one in downtown. But there's 3 shops all doing the same thing within a 5 to 10 minute drive of each other. And I feel like there's a lot of things that can go in downtown Harriman that can make our town look amazing, make it appealing to everyone. And I just personally don't feel like the smoke shop, or whatever it's called, right across from the Princess Theater, is the best representation of our town. Again, I love this town. Lord willing, I'll never leave. I have no plan on it. I don't plan on it. And, my wife is not from here. We met in 2013. She's from North Carolina, but whenever we got married and she moved here, she absolutely fell in love with Harriman from the get-go. So I genuinely have nothing bad to say about the city of Harriman itself. Outside of talking to other people, we have all said that the vape shop or smoke shop or whatever it's called right across the street from the Princess Theater is not something that we want to see there, or continue to have other things like that in the area, because it just, again, it takes away from the family feel that Harriman has. Thank you all for your time. I appreciate it. This is my first time ever being at one of these things, and not exactly used to this, but yeah, I appreciate your time.
Well, thank you for coming, Mark. We appreciate your comments, and we've heard people's some of the frustration with the shop. As we told them, the city of Harriman didn't have an ordinance to stop vape shops, they have a right, just like any other business does, to put something in. We did put in something 2 weeks ago to a moratorium to study for a year, to study vape shops and stuff. I don't know if that includes, because when you said tobacco shops, I'm sitting here thinking, is tobacco shops an easy way to get around vape shops? Because they're all the same on our moratorium, so we need to look at that to make sure. But we have stopped it for a year to do the study. Our goal is to, we feel the same as you, that we got plenty of them. We got enough of them. We don't need any more. And you know, when Harriman went into the liquor business, I don't know if any of us was here on council, but you know, the city put in a thing to where they can only have 3 inside the city. I feel the same way with vape shops. You know, there's one on every corner, it seems like. But what I did do in the last week is I went around and researched cities that have vape shops. And it was, the bad part about it is every city has got a vape shop downtown. And that's sad, but that's what it's become. But we are addressing the issue, and we appreciate you coming and
Yes.
voicing your concerns. And I've known you since you was this big. I watched you grow up. So I appreciate you being here. I look forward to seeing you here more, and keep us on our toes. But from the city, we apologize, but it happened before we could push the button to try to stop it. And that's, we got to be in front of it instead of behind it, and we're working on that.
And you know, growing up, you know, we had the bowling alley and the, you know, the movie, drive-in theater, and you know, a lot of good memories with, you know, friends, mom, dad. And now it's like, you know, those things are leaving and vape shops are opening. And you know, I want my daughter to be able to have things to do around town, and also have that same hometown pride that I do, because I really am proud of being from Harriman. Like, I love this town, and you know, I think it's great, and I want everyone to feel that way about it as well. So
We promise you, we're working on trying to get those things back in Harriman. We're trying. We spend a lot of money every year on recreational for our young people, because we know, we've always said, you know, the young people are not our future, they're today. If we don't get them today, we're going to lose in the future. So we do that. The sad part about the city part is that what most people don't understand, we don't pick and choose who comes.
right.
I wish we could. And I wish that we could go out there and say that we want every business filled up with this, but we can't, and we got empty buildings. So we have to watch who comes and what they do. And we're putting some stricter things in. We've been working with Scott and Keita to get some different things in how we prevent some of this, but we're working on it, and I appreciate you coming and talking.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else like to address council? If not, we're going to go into reports. Treasury report.
Thank you, Mayor. Council members, you have in front of you the financial analysis for the month end, April 30th of 2026. And you can see there for the total primary operating revenues, we're significantly above budget, and we are below across almost every category. For the expenditures, down closer to the bottom. There's a few departments, of course, that are slightly over. Just a little note out to the side there, just to kind of explain the difference in the year-over-year comparison for the in lieu of tax payment from HEB and the residential sanitation revenues. If that revenue is received even one day into the next month, it posts on that month, and so it did not show up in the report. So I'm reporting the data as we have it. So there was a 2 or 3 day delay in the receipt of that revenue, and so there isn't some huge jump year over year. It's just that's what I'm just trying to point out there, is that there's a reason for the big difference, and of course it's just mainly because of a later than usual payment. So but before I move on, and also I included as well the expenditure report, the detail for the various departments, and so I apologize for being a little late getting that to you, but we had a little miscommunication internally. But if anybody has any questions, I'd like to take those now, and then I'll move on to introduce the auditors.
Any questions for Mr. Ayler?
All
I
right.
may not today, but I may tomorrow.
Of course, please, absolutely. Anytime, just send me an email or
10
call
minutes.
me. I'll be glad to help.
Or 10 minutes.
10 minutes from now.
So Richard Hill and J.R. Cates are here, and they are with our audit group, Richard Emmert Hill and Emmert Hill. Mitchell Emmert Hill, there we go. And they're going to do the presentation of the audit, so welcome, guys.
Good evening. You got a copy of the audit in front of you. You can see it's a pretty detailed document, so I was just going to cover a few of the highlights of it this evening and see what questions the board may have. So our report is on page 1 through 5. There's a change, an actual improvement from the prior report we issued in that we were able to get records we needed on the Industrial Development Board, so we were able to issue a clean opinion on the city's financial statements. So that's good news. And then starting on page 6 is management's discussion and analysis. That's just a narrative view of the financial statements. If you'll turn over to page 24, this is the balance sheet. If you took a snapshot at June 30, 2025, this is what it would look like. The general fund had total assets of a little over $3.8 million. The American Rescue Plan Act Fund, $267,000. Then all the other governmental funds are accumulated together. They total a little over $1.1 million. So the total assets of the city are $5,189,927 at June 30, 25. If you'll turn the page, you'll see the liabilities against those assets, and assets minus liabilities gives you fund balance a little over $2 million in the general fund and $575,000 in all the other governmental funds. Then let's flip over to page 29. This is what would be an income statement if you were a commercial business. So the revenues at the top of the page, all funds together total $9,465,000. Then expenditures are in the bottom half of that page, a little over $11.5 million. And if you'll turn to page 30, the very bottom number on that page, for the year, the general fund had more expenditures than revenue by a little over $1 million. So something to keep in mind with that is I think you had a big paving project last year, about $600,000. And so the way governmental accounting works is you actually show that as an expense. And then in addition to that, you had capital outlay of about $500,000, and that's shown as an expenditure. So that somewhat explains that $1 million decrease. And then if you'll turn the page, the very bottom number on page 31 shows that the general fund still had fund balance a little over $2 million, and the other funds $575,716 at June 30, 25. The next many pages are the budget details for the general fund and the ARPA fund. And as in prior years, your city financial statements include the financial statements for the Harriman Utilities Board that was audited by other auditors. And so we took their report and just incorporated those balances into here. And then the last thing I wanted to mention is way toward the back. Well, I should have marked it. But it's the schedule of expenditures of federal awards. And so that schedule shows not only the state shared revenue that you got in during the year, but state and federal grants. It's on page 175 and 176. And so for the year, y'all got federal awards of $2,695,232. And that's both the city and the utility board combined. Last thing I want to mention is at the very back, in addition to auditing the financial statements, we're required to review the city's accounting policies, internal control policies, and compliance with laws and regulations. We had 3 findings there. They're a repeat of the findings we had in the prior year. And so you'll see our finding or comment, recommendation, and management response.
What page is that on?
It's in the very back. Just a moment. Starts on page 185.
Okay.
So there are 3 comments there. One is about budget overspending. You've got to get amendments in there. You can't legally spend money that hasn't been appropriated by the governing body. Second comment is about the bank accounts, and I think that's already been corrected. Y'all are working on a different kind of system using warrants and a centralized bank account. Now I think y'all got it broken out where each fund has its own bank account. That's how all the other cities we work with do it. And then the third comment was just timeliness in getting records closed. And talking to Chris, part of that was that he relies somewhat on MTAS to help, and they were extraordinarily short-staffed during the year, so he had difficulty getting on Brad Harris's schedule. But that contributed to that. So other than that, there weren't any other findings or comments or anything that would call the board's attention. There's a lot of information here, but I'm happy to answer any questions that you got.
Any questions by any council member at this time? Okay.
I don't right now, but I'll holler at Chris.
Yes, ma'am.
When I see some things, so yeah.
That's fine. If he's not sure, he can contact us. We're happy to answer any
I'll
questions
read
as well.
this tonight,
I would too,
That's right.
Light reading.
as always.
light reading.
Certainly a report with a lot of detail in it for sure.
We appreciate you working on it and getting it to us, and we're hoping this next year we get back on regular schedule to where we get this turned in,
More timely.
so.
Yes,
We keep-
more time.
We keep, I think, before the first year, the second year was 2 months earlier. This time it's maybe 6 weeks earlier. That's not good enough for us. We want to continue to be more timely in that, so we'll do what we can do to make that happen.
Well, I appreciate you coming in tonight and
You're
talking
welcome.
to us.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Chris, do you have anything else?
No, sir.
Okay. City Attorney. Mr.
Good
Owens?
evening. What we have worked on the last couple of weeks, since our last meeting, are some code violations. We've worked on a few of those. We came across actually 3 more lawsuits that were filed previously back in 2019 for code violations, and so we've been investigating those. I had to sign off on those and take Chancellor McFarland off of those cases. He was still on them. I thought we had found all of the cases in Roane County that the city of Harriman was involved in, but there were 3 others. And so we've looked at those, and I know one of the 3 lots has been cleaned up, and the other 2 may still need some work. So hopefully we can get those cases resolved and dismissed fairly quickly. We've been, of course, doing the usual, and that's answer questions of any employee, especially directors that may have questions during the weeks. And we do that quite regularly. So those are the kind of the things that come to mind this week. The contracts that you have on board tonight to review and perhaps approve, we have reviewed those and returned those to Scott for your consideration. So no changes in those. They just kind of are what they are. Just like even the interlocal agreement with Roane County. It's a 1-year agreement, and we can terminate it, but we don't get any of our funds back, the $17,000. But it looks like it's recommended. That's something that we do, and we would like for them to continue on with that. That's at least Scott's recommendation. So, but we have reviewed those things and are prepared to discuss them if need be. Glad to answer any questions anybody might have.
Any questions for Mr. Owens?
No, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Kitty, do you have anything on
We haven't
Scott's
done
behalf?
that as of right now.
Okay, we'll get the city manager's report at the next meeting. At this time, we'll go into new business. First time discussing possibly approve the annual agreement between the city of Harriman and the Roane County Animal Shelter. Everybody should have a copy of that agreement, looked at it. It's basically the same agreement that we've been signing every year. Motion to approve.
I'll make a motion. Second.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Brackett. Councilman Johnson.
No, sir.
Councilman Brackett.
No, sir.
Floor is open for discussion. Call the roll, please.
Tim Johnson,
Yes.
Felicia Harris.
Yes.
John Brackett.
Yes.
Lonnie Wright,
Yes.
Cheryl Laxton,
Yes,
David Vansdale.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next item, discuss and possibly approve the interlocal cooperation agreement between Comprehensive Municipal Services with Roane County Government for the 2026-2027 fiscal year in the amount of $17,000, and that is for planning services. We've been using Roane County for some time now. We used to use East Tennessee Development District, and we switched to the county. The county's been doing a pretty good job with it, and so the recommendation is to stay with the county another year and let them continue doing our planning.
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Laxton. Second by Councilman Vansdale. Councilwoman Laxton.
No, sir.
Councilman Vansdale. Floor is open for discussion. Call the roll, please.
Tim Johnson,
Yes.
Alicia Harris,
Yes.
John Brackett.
Yes.
Lonnie Wright,
Yes.
Cheryl Laxton,
Yes.
David Vansdale.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next item, discuss and possibly approve the first reading on ordinance 0526-01, an ordinance of the city of Harriman, Tennessee, adopting the annual budget for the fiscal year beginning July the 1st, 2026, and ending June 30th, 2027.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Brackett. Second.
I'll second.
Second by Councilman Johnson. Councilman Brackett.
No, sir.
Councilman Johnson.
No, sir.
Floor is open for discussion.
Now, this is our first reading, and we will be doing the final vote in
The
sometime
second
before.
meeting of June is what it's scheduled for.
Second meeting, okay.
But we're gonna have a budget workshop hopefully next week, to start going over these, line items. I know it's kind of, just where we're at with what you put in there. Chris, you wanna explain it?
Yes, sir. Thank you for that. So, so the way I laid it out, and I sent an email narrative, and sometimes, you know, it's much better to just explain it in person than it is an email, but I wanted to get the information to you guys as far as the logic behind the layout of the budget. On the estimated column for 25-26, I simply entered the last year's budget numbers, and because what I wanted you to do or be able to see pretty easily where the budget cuts occurred. And so you can just look from one column to the next to see, okay, we cut here versus what was budgeted. In the next iteration of the budget, it will have the actual numbers and projections. So remember that by putting the budget together before the end of the fiscal year, there's a certain amount of estimation that has to occur, and therefore that column, of course, is listed as estimated. The numbers in the 2024-25 column are the audited numbers, so those numbers are accurate. And so, this year you've been provided with a very robust general fund financial analysis for the budget. So you're looking at very good numbers right now. And I want to bring your attention to one small thing. Close to the bottom of the first page, you'll see it says, third line up, it says change in fund balance. There's a negative 375,881 there, and the reason for that, there's two reasons for that. I was extremely conservative with my projections regarding revenues, and that's what you want. You want to be conservative regarding that. And so the actual revenues are going to make that to where we actually have a budget surplus. Okay, so that's what we're all projecting going into the next fiscal year because of the increased debt service that we have. And then there's also under the section for it says special projects. Of course, that covers the grants, and going forward, any new grant that we receive in fiscal year 2027 from that point forward, we're gonna allocate that money under the capital projects fund. So we're able to produce, and I've mentioned this a few times, that we're able to give you an actual operating budget that doesn't have the grant component that, for lack of a better word, blows up the budget, that makes it really hard to determine where the actual expenditures are, because you have to account for all of the expenditures and all the revenues for a grant in one fiscal year, whereas that grant will probably take 2 to 3 years to complete. Right. And so by moving that accounting for all of those projects into the capital projects fund, you're going to be provided with an actual operating budget going forward. So because we still have outstanding grants that are unfinished, I'm still having to include those in the general fund, but that will change for any new grants that we get in fiscal year 2027 and going forward. So I did want to take a minute to explain that. And of course the ARPA fund, lastly, the ARPA fund completely goes away. We're about to write a check to cover a bill just to clear out that account, and it'll be a zero, it'll go to a zero balance at that point. So this will be the last year for that. I'll be happy to take any questions.
This budget doesn't include any sort of raises or anything like that.
That is correct. A point I meant to make, thank you, Mayor, is that we left the line item for salaries the same.
So this isn't a complete budget, this is what we're gonna work on to get a complete budget.
Exactly, the first reading. And so we wanted to include that because those discussions had not been official yet as far as what the will of council was regarding salaries.
Should we wait to have a complete budget before we do the first reading?
Well, if we don't do a first reading tonight, we'll put ourselves to where we have to have a special called meeting. And so the first reading is considered to be a general projection of where we are and the general idea of the will of council. It is by no means a final vote, and it is by no means a definite prediction of where the final budget is going to land. We're just required by the state to have 2 readings for the budget.
But we don't have a budget yet.
We have a budget that's laid out in front of you there that has been discussed at length, and I believe Scott has.
Yeah, I was gonna make a comment, is that Scott has been in the last month or two, I know the finance committee and I know department heads, he's gone through it with everybody. So, I mean, personally, I feel comfortable in approving the first reading, but in anticipation that we're gonna do the workshop where everybody will have a voice on every line item, as the mayor has stated.
And we'll set that date up as soon as we get the vote on this for the workshop for next week, if everybody can look at their schedule, and we'll schedule an evening next week to do the workshop. And we may not get it all done in one workshop, so we need to understand that it may take a couple workshops. But, I know a couple of you all are gonna be out the whole first part of June, so I wanna try to get as many as we can. I want to get it done before then because I want the whole council to be a part of what we're doing.
Sure.
I don't want to.
And for clarity, what is the date we have to have it approved by?
It has to be approved by June 30th.
Okay.
That we have scheduled, and you can see there at the on the budget ordinance that our projected passage of the second reading will be the second meeting of June.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Any other questions?
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, sir.
If not, call the roll.
Tim Johnson,
Yes.
Alicia Harris.
Yes.
John Brackett.
Yes.
Lonnie Wright,
Yes.
Cheryl Laxton,
Yes.
David Vansdale.
Yes.
Motion carries. That's all we have on the agenda. This time we're going to council remarks. Councilwoman Laxton.
No, sir.
Councilman Brackett.
No, sir.
Councilwoman Harris.
No, sir.
Councilman Johnson.
No, sir.
Councilman Vansdale.
No, sir.
Councilman Wright.
No, sir.
I don't have anything. We will have a workshop as soon as we get through here, and then we'll have an executive session after that to talk about, I think, some insurance or something. So there'll be nothing else coming for. Whoa. Has anybody had time to look at their schedule? Do you want to go ahead and schedule a day next week to have a workshop? So we can get a date out there. Monday is a holiday, so I'm thinking any day after Monday.
Tuesday? Tuesday morning or Tuesday evening?
Tuesday's fine with me.
I have HUB Tuesday,
Oh, yeah, you have HUB at what time?
5:30.
5:30? And y'all are probably gonna be on
You think it'll be long?
budget. I mean, I think y'all are gonna be looking at budget and stuff too. I don't think you'll be long. Let's say, how about 6:30?
That's fine.
6:30 Tuesday,
Yeah, that'd be good.
26?
the 19th.
Oh, 19?
No, the 26th.
I was gonna say.
Today's 19th.
Yeah, I was very
And I
looking
didn't
at
do that
that.
on purpose. I looked down at my phone and it said 19th, and I said 19th.
I thought you
out
said,
loud.
you
No.
yelled that, I was looking at it
No.
like, boy, I missed something. Sure.
6:30.
26th at 6:30.
Yes, sir.
Budget workshop. All right. Nothing else needs to come before this council. Motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign.